folks, it's Ariel over here at Nyth and Barely. It's been a long time since we had a video in here by the wood stove. I have to adjust that fan so it doesn't make us too hot sitting here. It's now at the beginning of March actually, and I have something cool that's been going on around our house I want to share with you. So this little girl is right outside my window. She just stood up. She's nibbling some snow. Pull back here. That's the window, wood stove, etc. Anyway, this is a little girl moose calf. She was born this spring. She came by last night. Really woke me up in the middle of the night to tell me there was a moose right outside the house, which is just fine. That's part of his job. I told him that it was okay, she could sleep there. She slept over by the wood pile outside for a while and then came back here right behind the house and laid down. This is where she was napping when I got up this morning. She's been here all day now for 8 or 9 hours. She had turned around once, but other than that she's been in the same spot. And now she just stood up and is eating some snow, so she must be thirsty. Hi, pretty girl. I think she can hear that there's somebody inside here, but I don't know if she knows what a person is. You can see some ticks there on her nose, just below her eyes. It's pretty common for moose to get a lot of ticks here in the winter. She just wants to munch on the snow from my skirting around the house. Anyway, it's kind of cool to see her. It's also a little bit sad because she appears to be by herself. There's no evidence of a mama with her, near her, anywhere around. Any second pair of tracks from anywhere she walked yesterday, I tracked back to where she came from. And unfortunately, though, she looks fairly good right now. See, she's still munching snow. A calf this age, she probably weighs still less than 200 pounds. She's just all leg. If I stand up on the chair here, you can kind of see her in the pathway behind the house. She's not likely to survive without a mother. Moose calves seem to need that full year of somebody telling them how to be a good big moose and what to do, and they don't tend to make it otherwise. So that's a little bit sad. I don't know what happened to her mother. Could have been killed by one of the many cats around here, or any of the other things that kill moose. Haven't found her carcass, but since her little girl here has been without her all day, I'm thinking that something took her mom out. So anyway, it's been interesting to watch her here. Hopefully I'm wrong and that she will be big enough to figure out how to do everything for herself and survive, but we'll have to see. You guys should come up with a name for her. She's a little girl, and I haven't named her. I've just been calling her little girl. Though of course she's bigger than me by a good bit, but for a moose she's little. I'm going to actually try to step outside for a minute, see if I can shoot a little video for you without it being through the window. But I'm going to be really quiet because I don't want to disturb her. I don't want to stress her out. You can see she flicks her ears back and forth all the time. No, she's going to turn around. Maybe we're not going to go outside right now. Burley is chilling. We actually went over to a friend's house. Switch windows there. For a while this morning so he could run around and pee. Because while he's really good at leaving Moose alone, I know that she's probably already fairly stressed without her mama and did not want to exacerbate that at all. So we went to somewhere else so he could run around freely and get his exercise, and she could just have this place in peace. I'm going to be quiet and peek out the door. That probably got a little shaky there toward the end. She apparently decided to come over to this end of the house and lay down. I was just standing in the open doorway looking at her quietly, and she looked at me and then ignored me. She probably doesn't quite know what to do with a person. So we're going to wish her the best and hope that she has a good nap there and goes on to have a wonderful life. It's pretty dark in here, but that's Burley laying in bed beside me, right at the head of our window. And I think it's too dark to see out there, but our little moose girl is laying in the snow, right up against the trees. You can almost see that dark spot. She's sleeping right out there. Burley and I, you don't have to sniff the camera, baby. I know. We don't usually talk to the camera in bed. Good boy. He huffed once to tell me that she was out there, and I said we were going to leave her be. And he's been chilling in here ever since. He's pretty good at that. He knows we don't chase moose anyway. So, yeah, it's about midnight, and we're sleeping in bed, and we've got our little baby moose girl sleeping right outside the window. This is morning number 4 of our little baby girl hanging out here. She's still eating the tips off all the brush around the house. She seems to have adopted Nyth as her substitute mama. So I'm behind the house. There's the chimney. Just cleared the path. And if you look down over here, clear down at the bottom where you almost can't see it. Can you see right there? There's a brown spot. Doesn't look like anything, but it's all the closer I can get from up here. That brown spot is baby girl's fur. She's curled up napping down there, just down the hill from the house today, which was a little bit convenient for us because if I move this way, you may be able to see her flick her ears, but it's kind of hard. She's so far down there through all the branches. Anyway, it let me, it's so white out here, catch up on snow shoveling all of the paths around the house because I hadn't done it the last couple of days because she was napping in them and didn't want to disturb her. Look at the cool icicles we got. That snow's about to finish sliding off the roof, but there's some pretty icicles this morning and actually a little bit of blue sky. It snowed all night and all day yesterday, and now there's some blue sky. So anyway, baby girl's still hanging out, unless somebody's got a better name suggestion. That's what I've been thinking of her as. And now I've got all the paths cleaned up so she can come back and nap in them again. We'll see what she does. Just stepped out the corner of the house here. As you can see, baby girl is just munching on some more brush right around the corner there. This is day number 7, I believe, since we first found baby girl hanging out around the house. She's just outside the window here. The snowbank's so tall you can't really see her very well. She's scratching an itch. Now I'm sure I'm going to get tons and tons of questions about this. Our baby girl, as we've been calling her, is actually right on the other side of that wall right now, right out there. She's napping. I think this is the first day we saw her was the 23rd, so this is a little over a week now. She's basically lived right beside our house. Burley's been very, very good with her, as in totally leaving her alone. He doesn't do anything with her, which is being good. You'll see we've watched her out the loft window as we sleep, and he just chills, perfectly beside me and watches her. He knows I've said she's allowed to be here, so he doesn't worry about it. He just alerts me to anything new or different that he thinks he should bring to my attention, which is great. It's his job. There's birds flying by the window too. Anyway, so she's basically been hanging out here. We have gone over to a friend and neighbor's place some so he can run around. I don't think he would even try to chase her, but as I mentioned, I don't want to do anything that stresses her out. So we've just kind of let her have our place to herself for a while, including not getting the snow shovel in the paths for quite a while because I didn't want to interrupt her with that. But then she moved just down the hill for a day. I cleaned up all my paths and now she's back. Anyway, it's really cool to get to see her. I do see moose here fairly regularly, but it's all the wildlife is always so special to me to get to watch, and it's a little, I guess it tugs your heartstrings a little more when it's an orphaned animal. I'm very sure that she does not have a mom since she's been here for more than a week now and is still on her own. I know I will get a ton of questions about this because I shared a photo over on MeWe if you're one of the folks that follows our life there, and got a ton of questions about it. So she may well survive. She's most of the way. She's not quite a year old now. She's probably something like 9 months old. She is definitely big enough to be eating, as you've probably seen in the videos, normal moose food, which is twig tips, willows, that kind of stuff. Moose don't normally browse on like grass on the ground. For one, there is none, on the ground right now. It's all snow. But two, they actually can't reach the ground. They'd have to lay down to chew something on the ground. Their legs are too long. They browse on brushy stuff that's up higher. So she's been eating normal moose food. She's been pooping. I could take you a walk around the house, except she's standing out there right now, and you can see all her little moose poop piles. I've seen her eating snow. I'm assuming that the one time she disappeared for part of a day, because it looked like she went down toward the bigger creek that's defrosted. The creek right below our house is frozen solid. Haven't seen running water in there for months, but I assume she went and got a drink, but I know she's eating snow and I know she's peeing because I can see that as well. And Fish and Game does know she's here. I called them days ago when she first showed up, Orphaned, just to be sure they knew. I was pretty sure because I know the one gentleman who's in charge of this area, and their policy with wild things is to let nature take its course, which I can't really argue with. It's sometimes hard if you're where you can see nature taking its course. That's true for sure. It's just one of the interesting things about, I know a lot of you guys think it's so cool. There's been a lot of videos and a lot of photos over the years of a lot of the wildlife I'm surrounded by, and people think it's amazing when there's a wolf that walks right by the house, or we have grizzly bears in the yard, or there's a mountain lion that came by in the night, or whatever, and it is cool. But all of those things are predators, and they do have to eat something too. Still don't know what happened to her mother. I've never found a carcass either along the road or killed by an animal, so I don't know what happened to her. I just know she's not here. And I don't know if baby girl is going to make it or not. We're just doing our best to make sure we don't do anything to make her life harder or more difficult. I suspect she's hanging out beside the house because we've actually inadvertently made her life easier by having a plowed lane and cleared pathways around here, so it's very easy to walk, because as you can probably see, the snow is generally over her head, and without a big beefy mama to break trail through the snow for her, traveling around through the deeper snow is probably kind of tough right now. But Fish and Game does not take in orphan animals. There's no kind of
wildlife rehab that would do that kind of thing in my area at all. It's actually illegal. Feeding wildlife is illegal, and I understand the reasons why. You know, I don't want her to get used to people or become dependent on unnatural food sources that can actually mess up their guts. Anyway, so we're just wishing her the best. We are keeping our fingers crossed and hoping that she does make it. We're making sure we don't disturb her. We watch her quietly out the windows when she's right up against the window. And if we need to go out the door, we wait till she's behind the house and we sneak quietly out the door that way and then go somewhere else for now so that Burley can run around. You can see he's pretty tired now, but he's gotten his fair share of bouncing through the snow today. We had to go do some snow cleanup, some other houses, and so he got lots and lots of snow bouncing time, so he's ready to just chill for a good nap. Anyway, so I'll quit messing with your ears. It's fun to get to watch wildlife, but you know, in nature, everything eats something. Eventually, someday I'll die, and the plants and the funguses and earthworms and whatever will digest my body, and I get that. And you know, I like watching her. We really, really hope she makes it, but I don't know if I'll ever have a conclusion to this story to share. I'm a little surprised she's hung her out this long, you know, more than a week, basically right beside the house wall here. My guess would be at some point she'll have eaten every branch tip she can find in this area and wander off to a different area, and at some point I'll probably lose track of her, and at that point I won't know if she makes it or not. But we're going to hope that she does, and I just thought I would share for those of you guys who don't live in the middle of nature and don't get to see all its ups and downs and beauty and cuteness and hardness and harshness and all of that, just some of the nature we live in the middle of.
While we were sitting beside the wood stove talking to you, she walked past the house apparently. Right there, you might be able to see the bird feeders where they're coming and going. She's back by the wood pile now, munching on some twigs there and looking over here because she can probably hear my voice through the window. But now baby girl's over there. Anybody got a great name idea for her? Comment it down below. We should pick her some kind of name other than baby girl. It's kind of nice for her under those trees because the snow's not very deep under there. That's partly why I keep my wood pile over there. They're so thick up in their canopy that it blocks most of the snow from being able to land under there. You can see if you can see it over the snowbank, that she's pawing away some of the snow to get to more of the branch tips that are hidden under there, because there's still a good bit of snow. It's just not near as deep as out in the little more open part of the clearing where the house is here. Right here in front of the door you can see where she walked by. Footprints go around the house that way. Walked back in front of the door. We got most footprints all over the place here now. Plus the young lady herself.
So anyway, we're not feeding her anything unnatural, where she might still be nursing a little bit from her mom if she was alive, but she's definitely big enough to be eating foods that are not just milk. So it's not like we're going to be feeding her milk or anything else at all. We're just going to be leaving her be a moose, wishing her the best, and that's the only approved and legal course of action in the area with a situation like this. And we will, Fish and Game did say if we ever see her get to like the point where she's so weak she can't stand up or something, to call him and he'll come put her down. I hope we don't ever get to that point. She certainly seems totally, happy and healthy right now. She's not showing any signs of not being able to walk around. She is walking around. She's eating, like I said, drinking, peeing, pooping. She has had some bird friends who have helped her out with landing on her, as you can see in the one little clip, and picking the ticks off her, which is helpful for a moose because as big as they are, even adult ones, sometimes when they get a real explosion of ticks on them, that they can, bleed to death just from that. So anyway, that's what's going on. Burley's nappy pieing. I don't know if you can see his big fluffy feet there. He doesn't like that much when I hang on to his feet like that, but he puts up with it. But he's got lots and lots of curly furs that keep his pads nice and warm the whole time he's bouncing through the snow. I hope you guys are all enjoying your winter or spring, whatever it is there. It's still very much winter here, clearly. And we wish you all the best from Nyth. Hi folks, Ariel over here. Thanks for spending some of your valuable time watching these videos. Hopefully you found something beautiful, educational, interesting, peaceful, relaxing, or useful while you were here. If so, find more videos here, subscribe so you don't miss any updates, and if you like what you found here, feel free to like and share away so that others can benefit as well. You all have a wonderful day.